New developments tonight. Outrage at one of America's oldest historically black colleges. The marching band of Talladega College, a school in Alabama, founded by former slaves, invited to perform at President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. But a fierce debate erupted among students and alumni, and now the college president is under pressure to pull the band from the parade. Victor Blackwell is out front tonight from Talladega College.
Talladega College's Tornado Marching Band is now at the center of a social media firestorm. The historically black school facing backlash after it was announced the band would perform during Donald Trump's inaugural parade. Many African Americans still offended by Trump's campaign, including his unorthodox appeal for black voters' support.
You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. What the hell do you have to lose?
Response on Twitter and Facebook to the participation, immediate and emotional. There is no honor in performing for one of the world's most racist people, Donald Trump, one man writes. Another writing, shame on you. While others feeling the nearly 300 band members should participate in the parade. One woman writing that she's proud of this school for breaking the barriers of racism. Another urging students to go for it.
Oh, really? Seriously? No.
When Shirley Farrell heard about her alma mater's potential role in the Trump inauguration, she started a petition urging the college to withdraw. So far, there have been more than 1,300 signatures. A member of the band launched a counter-petition saying this parade is not about politics. It's about seeing firsthand the process of a transition. Still, Farrell thinks it's a bad idea.
We're the oldest historically black college in Alabama. We have a reputation of fighting for freedom and equal rights and justice, and he doesn't stand for any of that.
Farrell says she was most offended by Trump's November 2015 rally in Birmingham. A Black Lives Matter protester was beaten, punched, and kicked by several white men in the crowd.
Trump, from the podium, seemed to encourage that with his words and his behavior.
Trump doubled down several days later.
Maybe he should have been roughed up, because it was absolutely disgusting what he was doing.
I don't want the school to give the appearance of supporting him.
The hashtag Talladega College trends on Twitter, but is the battle over the band such a hot topic here? We asked people in Talladega, the center of this controversy, should the band march?
I think it'd be good exposure for Talladega College.
You think they should go? What do you think?
Yeah, they should go.
It's great to have them represent him. You know, they'll about try to put him down that he's against black people when they know, which he's not.
It all boils down to what is good for the college and the students. They need it.
Victor, a pretty amazing report. I mean, will the band actually show up, right? I mean, this is the big question. There's no answer tonight.
It still is an unanswered question, Aaron. You know, despite the confirmation from Trump's inaugural committee and the announcement on the band's own Facebook page, the president of the college, Billy Hawkins, said that the final decision has not yet been made. That's what he said when the backlash started rolling in. Well, we were told all morning that an announcement would come sometime after lunch from the president on camera on campus. Well, lunchtime has come and gone, and most folks are wrapping up dinner now, and still no answer. To make this even more bizarre, we learned that the president is not even in Alabama. He's actually in Orlando, huddled up with members of the Board of Trustees, and they tonight still cannot come up with a decision. I can tell you two things quickly, Aaron. Yeah. The band is on campus, and they're rehearsing for something, and someone with the inaugural committee tells us that 150 members of the band have undergone that U.S. Secret Service clearance. Now they just need to know if they're going or not.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much, Victor. How about now Ben Ferguson, conservative radio host, and Keith Boykin, former Clinton White House aide. Keith, let me start with you. You just heard Victor's report. The president of that college said he'd make a decision today, 2 cameras, did not do so, said it would be by lunch. Now it's dinner time, hasn't done so, and he's huddled up with the Board of Trustees. They're obviously struggling with this. There's a lot of criticism about this. What should the school do?
Well, you know, this is a tough choice. I have to say my father, my grandfather, my siblings all attended historically black colleges. I understand this is a difficult question. But, you know, I think it's an opportunity for the school to send a message that they won't support intolerance. I mean, you think about this, 4 years ago, the U.S. Supreme Court had a case in Alabama about voting rights, and they struck down a part of the Voting Rights Act because of an Alabama case. Just 2 months ago, Jeff Sessions was nominated the U.S. Attorney General by Donald Trump from Alabama, and he supports that decision against the Voting Rights Act. And just today, the NAACP president was arrested protesting Jeff Sessions, who is again from Alabama. So I think people from Alabama, above all, understand why it's important to stand up to Donald Trump and his bigotry.
Ben.
You know, I put this ban moment in the same category with sports, and we've seen how sports has been able to heal communities, has been able to bring people together, has been able to get people to look past the color of someone's skin. What an incredible opportunity for these young college students to be able to show off their talents, their heritage, their history on a national stage that in many ways is bigger even than Donald Trump. You look at how hard these kids have worked. They're going to be able to be watched by people all over the world and what they do. And I think it's sad that politics is coming into this and people are trying to take away from this moment from them. I think they should actually look at Barack Obama. Barack Obama is going to show up for the inauguration because it's a smooth transition and it's history. So is George Bush, who did not support, or from what we understand, Donald Trump. You show up. So is Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, even though she lost the election.
4 other historically black colleges whose bands performed for President Obama are not showing up. Florida A&M, Gambling University, Hampton University, Howard University. Right now, they are not slated to participate.
Yeah, I think that's sad. I think we should break down walls and barriers every time we get a chance. And what an incredible way to do it, by showing your talents and performing. This has nothing to do with the politics, and I think some people are hijacking these college students' moments. One of the young ladies in this band talked about how she wanted to go. This is going to raise the profile not only of what they've accomplished as a group, but as individuals. They get to go to the nation's capital and see a smooth transition of power. Something the rest of the world is going to watch as well.
Okay, Ben, if you want to, I think one way to raise the school's profile actually is for the school to make a strong statement that they won't support bigotry. Donald Trump is not a normal. Let me finish as I let you finish. Donald Trump is not a normal president-elect. Donald Trump is a racist, sexist, misogynist, narcissistic, xenophobic bigot, and because of that, he has been extremely divisive, especially to African Americans. He has not yet apologized for his disruptive behavior against the first African-American president of the United States for questioning his birth certificate. So yes, Obama will be there because the president of the United States has an obligation to be there. These students are not obligated to attend, and I support and applaud their decision if they choose not to do so.
Keith, let me just... Okay, hold on. Ben, let me just ask this first, though, because, you know, Keith had raised the issue of whether this was intolerant of intolerance, or being tolerant of intolerance to attend. The Radio City Rockettes, Ben, you know them, right? They were some of them who were upset. They were scheduled to perform. Marie Claire, the women's magazine, is now releasing a transcript of an audio tape they say they have of a meeting between the dancers and the owner. I want to read one exchange to you, Ben, because I think this is really important.
Sure.
A Rockette, you hear her asking, I mean, it just sounds like you're asking us to be tolerant of intolerance. The owner of the Rockettes, James Dolan, responds, yeah, in a way, I guess we are doing that. What other choices do we have? What else do you suggest? What do you say to that? He's saying that is what I'm asking you to do.
One, I disagree with him, but two, I also think we got to look at the message that we're sending specifically to any of these performers, especially these kids in college. Are we saying that every time that you don't get your way in an election, that automatically you go to name calling and you call the other person a racist, a bigot, and everything else that you've heard on this show tonight coming from Keith? Or do you respect the fact that there are other people in America that have a different perspective and a different viewpoint, and it doesn't mean that they're an evil, racist, or bigoted person? We need to have people come together, not sit here and say, well, I didn't get my way, so therefore I'm going to go home with my band, take my toys with me, and I'm not going to show up for what is a pretty great day in America. And instead you name call and you say, well, he's this and he's that and he's this. Think about the opportunity for these kids.
Ben, you speak very, very long. Let me just get in here real quickly. Donald Trump is not a normal person. He's not a normal candidate.
You keep saying that, but he's
let me just finish my that point because you're getting me disrupted here. I think the reality is that these people have an opportunity to make a statement because Donald Trump is being disruptive. He's not treating the American people. He's not treating Mexicans and Muslims and African Americans and people of color with respect. When Donald Trump starts to act respectful toward the people in this country, we will start to act respectful toward him. Until that time, he doesn't deserve our respect. He's behaving like an immature child, not like the President-elect of the United States of America.
The young African-American girl
and that's not
wants to go, the young African-American girl that's in the band that says she wants to go and perform at the inauguration, are you telling her that she is stupid?
I'm telling people can make up their own minds about going, but I'm telling you it's a missed opportunity if this school, it's the missed opportunity if this school doesn't stand up and say something to challenge Donald Trump.
So
yes, everybody has the right to do what they want, but
of course,
it's still a missed opportunity.
We're awaiting when that Board of Trustees and the president of Talladega College, Billy Hawkins, make their decision and come out with it. Obviously, struggling with that. They are now at least 4, 5, 6 hours late with the promised decision. Next, a prominent Latino who called Trump a buffoon during the...
When you tweet out a thing, and this bothered me, I got to tell you, you tweeted out that whites killed by blacks, these were statistics you picked up from somewhere, at a rate of 81%. And that's totally wrong. Whites killed by blacks is 15%, yet you tweeted it was 81%. Now,
Bill, I didn't tweet. I retweeted somebody that was supposedly an expert,
but you don't
and it was also a radio show.
Why do you want to be in that zone?
Hey, Bill, am I going to check every statistic? I get millions of people.
You got it. You're a presidential contender.
I have millions of people. You know what? Fine.
Donald Trump has consistently expressed himself in word and deed in ways that can only be described as racist. In his earliest years as a developer, he was sued by the Justice Department for allegedly denying housing to qualified black people. In the case of the Central Park Five, Trump jumped into the public arena, taking out full-page ads assailing the accused black teenagers and demanding the return of the death penalty. Most strikingly, he refused to back down when DNA evidence had clearly exonerated the 5 men, and New York City was forced to pay $41 million in damages for wrongfully imprisoning them for up to 13 years. Trump seems to believe deeply in ethnic stereotypes. He boasts of his own bloodline and compares it to breeding racehorses. In a 1991 book, one of his associates described him as horrified to see African Americans in his accounting department at 2 of his hotels, saying, quote, "Black guys counting my money? I hate it. The only kinds of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day." Trump acknowledged the veracity of these comments in a later Playboy interview before walking it back years later in a 1999 NBC interview, calling it all nonsense.